He's the commissioner of the Big 3. He's also the Hall of Famer, Clyde Drexler. How are you doing, Clyde?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning? What's going on?
I'm excited. I mean, you're part of a fraternity that I will never be a part of, Phi Slamma Jamma. So I just was not that vertically challenged. I couldn't get up that high like you once were able to. But the Big 3 Championship, though, Clyde, is this weekend. It is all set. You got the number 1 seed coached by Gary Payton, featuring Corey Brewer and Michael Cooper's Three's Company. They've got the MVP and Michael Beasley. Let me know what's going on with the Big 3 Championship. What should I be tuning in to see, or what should I can't wait to see?
Well, first of all, it's this Sunday in Boston, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's coming up. But it's the best professional basketball in the entire world. The Big 3 is real, coached by Hall of Fame players and coaches like Gary Payton, Michael Cooper, Lisa Leslie, Julius Erving, George Gervin, you name it, we've got them in the Big 3. It's the best league in the entire summer if you're a hoops fan. So it doesn't get any better than Big 3, started by Ice Cube and Jeff Quantnitz. And the Big 3 is nothing short of a phenomenon. If you like hoops, the Big 3 is your game. And so the championship in Boston is going to be tough. Some really good teams led by Gary Payton, Bivouacs. They have Corey Brewer, Gerald Green, Garland Green. They got some great players. Michael Cooper has Mario Chalmers, Michael Beasley, Reggie Evans, Sean Williams, and this young phenom, Nazir Kaur. These guys go at it. And so, it's going to be a defensive struggle. Both teams are big. They can defend, but they can also put the ball in the basket. So we're expecting just one heck of a game.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern time on CBS, and also on X as well this Sunday. It's not just a game, though, Clyde, right? This is festivities. This is a whole big kind of giant extravaganza, a big weekend for the Big 3. What else is going on besides this championship game?
Well, the Big 3 has always got a lot in store, right? Ice Cube has always got entertainment. We got our celebrity game going on. We got our All-Star game. Both of those games take place before the championship game, which is the main attraction. And this is the culmination of a 10-week season. And so it's highly anticipated. You had to really deserve the honor to play for the championship of the Big 3 in our 7th season. And we're all looking forward to it. The city of Boston is going to be a great host, as they always turn out for the Big 3. And, if you like professional basketball, the Big 3 is where you should be.
Yeah, tickets can be purchased at big3.com/tickets. The championship game set for this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time on CBS and also on X. What's been the great thing for you, Clyde, as the Hall of Famer, to be a part of this Big 3 as a commissioner? What's been the big thing that every week you get a chance to see with these athletes who once played in the NBA, many of them did, and now have this opportunity to still continue to play basketball at a high level and now be able to compete for a championship?
Yeah, it's been tremendously it's been an honor to be a part of, because, when we first started, people thought it was old man basketball, like a senior tour for the NBA. But our age limit is 22. So we got young players playing with some very good players who could still play in the NBA. And our young players are still trying to get in the NBA. So this is the best basketball in the world in the summer. And so the Big 3, and it's 3-on-3. It's different from 5-on-5. It's never going to be 5-on-5. You got to be a complete defensive player and a complete offensive player to make one of these teams. And so the action is fierce. We play like 80s style. We let them hand check. That's something that's completely different. We got a 4 points. We got a 4-point shot. Right. So these games, the first one to 25 is halftime. The game ends at 50, but you got to win by 2. So they go quick. And let me tell you something. Yeah. If a guy gets hot, it could be over real quick. but the defense is what makes it. They play hard. These guys play with a lot of pride. And as I said, they're coached by Hall of Fame coaches. And so there's a lot at stake. All of our guys are winners, so nobody wants to be the loser. That's
absolutely, man. Clyde Drexler, commissioner of the Big 3, basketball Hall of Famer. But I also say he's also part of a prestigious team, one that I had a little nostalgia last Saturday to be honest with you, Clyde, because I watched the gold medal matchup between USA and France. And every time you see USA in basketball, I don't care who you are, it takes you back to what I say was the greatest team ever assembled. That 1992 USA basketball team, the Dream Team. What do you remember most about being a part of such an illustrious group?
Well, it was a tremendous moment in time, first of all. First time professional players were allowed to compete in the Olympics, right? So we were the first team. And it was, some of the greatest players that ever played a game on that team. Gary Payton was on the second Dream Team in '96 and the one after that. And they were phenomenal. And so it started off, we were just lighting people up because we were light years ahead of them. But the world is catching up. But, when the world is catching up, it's great to see, like this year, the USA just continues to win. They continue to plow through it. They find a way to win. And that's what it's all about, being a USA Olympian as a professional player.
Look, I remember just watching, but you lived it. You were there, the Barcelona Olympics. This was a pre-social media era, Clyde. Just you guys walking around, the great basketball players of the world, just the fans' interaction. Like, what do you remember most about that interaction of how the people were flocking the streets to see you guys as you paraded through Barcelona?
Yeah, we were trying to be normal tourists and just regular Olympians, but they had security guard. They'd be 50, 25 feet behind you, but they were there. So it's not like you could just go anywhere you wanted and do anything you wanted to do. You had to have your security guard, especially if you had your family there, right? Mm-hmm. But it was a great moment. The city of Barcelona hosted those Olympics, and it was a phenomenal place to be. And it's, that team was just nothing short of spectacular. Had some great Hall of Fame coaches like Lenny Wilkins, Coach K, the great Chuck Daly. I mean, so it doesn't get any better when you talk about the original Dream Team. I think they're special, more, first of all, because they were first. And second of all, because of the talent that's on that team. It's arguable that the 96 team was just as good, but I hadn't seen any other team, in my opinion, that I think could beat either one of those teams.
You already know that was my next question. The 2024 version of USA basketball versus the 1992 Dream Team. If you had to guard one person, one guy on this 2024 team, why would you guard Steph Curry and shut him down?
Well, we can't. We love all the players. We're all the same family, so I can't tell you secrets. The other countries may be listening.
But I know you've heard it before, and look, we saw the Jordan versus, Magic and Bird in your practices, and we've seen some of the practices with the 2024 version. Just being around that greatness, what was the biggest thing that you remember or you take away from those moments?
We had been around those guys in all-star games and things of that nature, so we knew each other pretty well. I was in my 9th season. I think Magic was in his 11th to 12th, Bird 11th to 12th, Michael in his 8th season. So Malone and David and Stockton, all those guys were seasoned veterans, so we knew exactly what to expect. Chris Mullins, same thing, 7 or 8 seasons. So it wasn't like this was going to be our first rodeo. But one thing you saw was when you put those good players on the floor, they know what to do. Just keep putting good players out there. They'll find their role. You don't have to define it the way that some people may think. Good players are good players because they know what to do.
Clyde Drexler, he's the Hall of Famer, the commissioner of the Big 3 Basketball Hall of Famer. Just a couple more seconds with you, Clyde, because the Big 3 has their championship this weekend. Have they announced the MVP and Defensive Players of the Year of the Big 3 season this year yet?
Yes, the Big 3 MVP, greatly deserved, Michael Beasley. He's hard to guard, and he can really put the ball in the basket. And as for Defensive Player of the Year, it's Corey Brewer, who's been phenomenal. He can guard anybody on the court, and he just plays his heart out week in and week out. So those two guys, congratulations. You truly deserve it. And ironically, those two guys are playing in the championship game against each other. So what a show.
And it's funny that, ironically, I always say that this is it's kind of what they were most known for when they played at the NBA. Michael Beasley came into the NBA as this prolific scorer, and Corey Brewer became one of the defensive specialists. And it's crazy to think that that still goes into the Big Three after they've left the NBA. So I guess you said on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time on CBS, I should see a high-scoring affair or the defensive affair you mentioned?
Well, I think you're going to see a little bit of both. But obviously, you got to get to 50 to win the game, right? So, but these teams defend. They give you the effort, and both teams are deep and talented. In 3-on-3 in the Big Three, we only have 5 players and 1 coach, so it's a smaller unit, and so guys bond a little bit better because of that. And so what you'll see is, because they're both deep and talented, they can play really hard and get some subs in, and they won't lose much. And so that's why both of these teams are in the championship, because they're deep and they're talented and they play really hard.
I got one last question before I let you out of here, Clyde. We were just having this discussion about classic uniforms and jerseys. You wore a lot of jerseys throughout your career. What do you think for you is the most iconic jersey that you ever wore? Was it the number 10 Dream Team jersey? Was it your jersey at the University of Houston? Was the old uniforms with the Trailblazers? What's that jersey for you that's like the iconic one that you can't get rid of?
Well, what I would tell you is, being who I've been my whole life, is it's a tremendous honor to win one of those jerseys. When you get one of those jerseys, that means you've made the team. And as a kid growing up in Houston, Texas, that was my dream. So every time I got one of those jerseys, it didn't matter what it said on it. You're on the team, right? So it was a tremendous feeling of accomplishment. And obviously, you're going to give it everything you have. But I played on some great teams, from the Dream Team, the Phi Slamma Jamma, to the Portland Trailblazer great teams, to the Houston Rocket great teams. And every one of them were totally different. But it's the same sport. It's basketball. You're doing the same thing you do. And if you love it, I think that passion shows through. And so I was fortunate to be on some great teams, coached by some great coaches, as were, it's like the Big Three. That's because that's what it takes. If you want to play with the best in the world, you got to be around that environment. And I was lucky to be around that environment for many, many years.
Well, I guess that's just my way for begging for the Portland Trailblazers 22 Drexler jersey. So I don't know if you got that. If you want to, you can send it here. We are in El Segundo, California.
Clyde's been here before. He's been in
whenever
before.
You get a chance to, that Portland jersey, that Trailblazer jersey, especially the one you wore against the Bulls, man, that's the one I need.
Yeah, I'm not a big memorabilia guy. I don't have not one of those. Let me tell you.
I got you. Hey, Clyde, man, I appreciate
it. I wish I knew where to find it.
I know. We're going to find it. All right, Clyde. I got to let you go, man, but we appreciate the time. 5 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. It's the Big3 Championship on CBS and X, man. We can't wait to see you there. Again, man, best of luck on Sunday. Talk to you soon.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.